Todd, last night you said that you look to the leadership group to kind of steer you through situations like this. Is there anything specific that the leaders here do well, or is it just these are the guys with the experience, these are the guys we kind of rely on?
No, I don't think it's as simple as the guys with experience. They, a lot of them have lived through stretches like this, and they can draw upon what they or others ahead of them have done. But a lot of it comes down to more than words. It comes down to actions and executing, doing things right in certain situations. We had a lot of that last night, but there were, again, moments where we didn't finish the play or execute it properly, whether that was in our zone or all the way to the offensive zone, and it came back to cost us. And playing a perfect game doesn't exist. We fully expect to make mistakes, and sometimes your goaltender can cover some of it up. Sometimes we have to cover some of it up, and we haven't been doing our job in that area hasn't been near as precise as it was earlier in the year. So we got to get back to valuing it. And sometimes that can happen when you're not scoring quite as much, so you take a step forward one way or the other. Went back and reviewed the first goal. Morrissey's working above and about to cover, but there's just a hesitation second because he's probably thinking going the other way, and it's in our net. So the leaders can help clean that up, and a lot of it is done through their play and their execution.
When it's those individual moments or mistakes, not the team-wide structure, how does the coaching side of it change when it's not a breakdown in the system, right? It's just these 1 or 2 or 3 moments. It becomes difficult, and hey, we're not off the hook as a staff either. I'll make that real clear. We're not just pinpointing it on individuals. We have to make sure that the group is playing a well-connected and structured game. But when it's an individual turnover or something like that for a 2-on-0 going the other way, it's hard to show that in front of the group and say, hey, guys, we need to do this. It's really not we, it's an I in that situation. And the last thing that any coaching staff or team wants to do is start separating we from I. So those are really hard coaching moments. Those are done more individually than they're done collectively. Now, if your forecheck is slow, D-zone coverage is sloppy over and over again, that's a we thing, and that's easy to show, to get after the group as a whole to try and fix. And we have a combination of both scenarios going right now.
Yesterday, Kevin, aside from the 2 goals he scored, it seemed like he had one of his best responsible games defensively. It seemed like he did a lot of good things away from the puck and in his own end.
Yeah, and defensively, you mean? Yeah, defense. It's amazing what happens when you're good defensively, how it can lead to opportunities going the other way. You feel really good about yourself, I think, and you're not. And I'm not just talking Kevin. You're not coming back to the bench feeling like you let a group down or the team down. You did your job, you did it really well, and all of a sudden you get rewarded at the other end. You feel pretty good about yourself and your line mates. And I thought that Kevin played an outstanding game yesterday.
Biggest change in the power play that you saw last night that allowed for the taps?
Well, when the puck did go in, but we entered the zone a lot better than we did in the past. We had sustained time. I don't know what we spent, a minute and a half maybe before we scored the goal. And puck recoveries, we shot a few times, we were able to recover, and that allowed us to sustain time and stay in. Kempe hitting a shot from his area. Hasn't happened near as much this year as it did last year, but it's starting to go now, and hopefully that's a positive thing as well.
First read on Brandt coming in, and just, assessment.
Brandt just played, his 10th NHL game. Mm-hmm. He's come into a time right now where the team is not, winning as much as they did in the past. That's not an easy thing to do. And he went into a scenario where he got minutes with a defenseman he hasn't played with before. So all of those things make it difficult for the individual, but I thought he handled himself really well. There's moments where he has to value. We all know what he can do offensively, and that's going to come out over time. The defensive part of it, Jans is going to continue to work with him and make sure that he values that. And he's going to be, in my mind, he's going to be a star in this league once he gets the whole package.
I can just Another guy caught my attention was Arthur again, 2 games in a row. It seemed like very active.
Very productive night for Arthur. And we're going to look at the score sheet and we're going to say, well, he had 4 shots or 5 shots, whatever it was, and he did. But there was a lot of other work that went into his night, corner work, puck retrievals for his line mates, physicality. Pretty darn good night for him. So, we found a player there. Let's keep that going now.
Doing a story on Quinton Byfield and his skating coach, any noticeable changes just over the last 2 seasons of his skating improving? He said he's even almost like he's added a stride, or taken away a stride, I guess. Added some speed.
Well, he does look faster, so whatever he's been doing, I believe has really helped him. Some of that comes, I believe, with just getting stronger, physically stronger on the lower body. He's on his feet a little bit more. His system allows him to go a little bit longer, and the body's connected to the brain, so all of a sudden he's confident and feels good about going and being able to come back in. He's using his length more. So all of a sudden he's got that, that wingspan of a aircraft carrier, and his reach and his speed are assets that he's now put together.